Welcome, everybody, to episode 50 of They Cast from the Coast. My name is Adam Miles, and I'm joined by Tim Johnson, David Miles, and Josh Lambert. Yay! Yay! We're back after a slight hiatus, everybody, but we have some exciting things that we're going to be producing here with this show. We've actually done a little bit of change, so I'll just kind of give you guys the briefing of that. Essentially, what's going on is we're going to be producing now roughly 2 episodes per release. First episode is going to be what everybody would have considered our roundtable with our original episodes, the first half of our episodes. We've basically decided to split everything in half. Going to start with an episode that's essentially a roundtable. We're going to talk about the latest news, trailers, information, basic stuff that we've watched, anything else that we can think of that we want to put out there. We're going to have a roundtable discussion. Then following that episode released in the week, we're actually going to have a movie review episode. And this week's going to be a good one, guys. Mm-hmm. It is going to be a good one. We're all really excited. So without further delay, let's jump right into things, guys. What do you say?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do that. Yep. Let's do that. News of the week, ladies and gentlemen. News of the week.
Boom!
Boom, just like that. I'm going to turn it around here, and we're going to say the first thing that we're going to talk about, the information that's dropped on the Child's Play remake, which is currently filming in Vancouver, British Columbia. All right, Josh, what do you think?
Sweet.
Yeah. All right, he's fired.
Yeah.
I mean, what, 30 seconds into your first episode? Come on, man, you're done.
The leak pics from Chucky look good. Pumped that it's Canadian, being filmed in Canada. It's kind of cool.
Very much so. Yeah. No, agreed. Dave?
All right, you're done too. Get out of here.
Me?
All right, my quick opinion, no. I'm not in favor of it. The series is still running strong. There's a TV series coming out based on the original timeline. It makes no sense whatsoever to reboot. You know what? Even if they had another idea for a killer doll movie, why call it Child's Play? Like, why? When the series is still going strong. Makes no sense. It's a cash grab. I hate it.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
My opinion.
How do you really feel?
I was just about to say the same thing. Tell us how you really feel, Dave.
Really?
Tim.
See, now, I shared the same sentiment as Dave initially when I heard it. It's stupid. It doesn't need to be done. But I remember reading an article maybe early last week where they said it's not a reboot at all. It's actually a continuation of the Cult of Chucky. The only difference is that this toy company made a new doll, and Chucky is now in that doll, and they're picking up from that. That's what I heard. Everything else happened. It's not a reboot at all. It's just a continuation of what's already been established. That's what I heard.
Okay, that's news to me. I have not heard that myself. Because
news outlet... I'll find it.
He's going to find this, and we'll post a link to this, ladies and gentlemen. But it's one of those...
things up again.
It's one of those
on the
interesting...
spot that quick, though, Dave? You're giving me far too much credit.
That was good. I'll give it to you. That was good.
But going back onto this here for a second, every news outlet that I've been reading about this on have called this the reboot, the remake, etc., etc. It has never been, from anything that I've read, referred to as a continuation or the next part in a series. That changes things for sure. I agree, Tim. If this is in fact some sort of a continuation of the series, and it just kind of takes it in a different direction, I'm totally for that. I see no problem. I think it'll
But
be
see, now I'm looking it up, and as of September 21st, so basically a month ago today, there was this tweet by Don Mancini basically saying, like, no, this is stupid.
good. Oh, okay. Well then.
So just hold on. Let me try and find what I found.
Okay. Tim's going to continue to look for that, and while he continues to look for that, let's just talk about it for one more second. Aubrey Plaza's in it, though.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, even if it is a reboot, who fucking cares? If it's got some callbacks and they do a good job with it, what difference does it make?
It's true. Too many people are on board with shitting on remakes before they even see them or really give them a chance. How many people shit on the Evil Dead remake before it was even,
Exactly.
we heard anything really about it other than the fact that it was happening? Right.
No. Okay, so what I'm seeing, basically what I'm seeing is apparently I made it up.
On the spot.
On the spot like that. Fuck, why am I doing podcasts?
You could be writing scripts, man.
Well, it's saying Brad Dourif's not reprising his role as Chucky. It's about a mother giving her kid this doll, and the doll is possessed by a killer, and it sounds like a reboot to me.
That sounds like the reboot.
It's alternate timeline Chucky. That's all it is.
Alternate timeline Chucky. What is this? The Marvel Universe? DC Universe all of a sudden? Come on now. It's horror, man. It's horror. That's right. Okay. Moving on to the next item here. Robert Englund is reprising his role, or will have potentially by the time that this episode comes out, as Freddy Krueger on the show The Goldbergs.
Mm-hmm.
Josh.
Very excited to see him back in the makeup. It looks... Yeah.
Sorry.
Cool.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. It's a new makeup. It's not New Nightmare. It's not original. It's something completely new. But the pictures I saw from it looks good.
It's definitely got the old school vibe.
Yeah. I don't know how active of an episode it will be. I've never watched the show. It's just like a generic sitcom from what I understand, so I don't know.
Yeah, kind of like That 70s Show meets Roseanne or something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like a retro show, isn't it?
Yeah, it takes place in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like the episode, I was reading that the episode is based around the movie coming out and the family renting it and causing like nightmares for people in the family, and Robert Englund shows up, as Freddy Krueger. So, yeah,
I'll have to watch it for sure. But yeah, interesting.
I just think it's cool that he said he was done doing Freddy, and I guess money talks, or
exactly words out of my mouth.
He was just feeling charitable that day, and I haven't
the rent was due.
Yeah, like who knows? But I don't know. I'm excited to see him back. I mean, they've already got like this little promo of him. Like they've already shot it. It's already it's done. Yeah. But they had this little kind of promo for it, and he looks pretty good. I just don't understand why they just don't fucking do a new Nightmare movie. Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
This is the precursor to it, Tim.
This is
you're testing the waters.
You think?
Well, you never know. I mean, based on the fan response to this show, and I was just looking at earlier, it premieres Wednesday night.
Wednesday night. Okay.
Yeah, but you never know. I mean, based on fan response, and anything could happen.
No, it's true. It's true.
I'd love to see another Nightmare on Elm Street, like an actual Nightmare on Elm Street, not a Freddy versus Jason kind of thing, but back to the roots, Nightmare on Elm Street movie with Robert Englund.
Yeah. Like another modern day Freddy.
Modern day. Yeah. I mean, let's face it. Even though Freddy versus Jason isn't exactly tops on a lot of people's, opinions, it was a.
It was all right.
I liked it.
It wasn't fucking total garbage, but it was all right.
But from the Nightmare on Elm Street perspective, it was really good. From the Friday the 13th perspective, it blew.
Yeah, no, I hated Jason.
But it did take a little bit of what we were just talking about there. It did kind of modernize Nightmare on Elm Street a little bit in that perspective too. Kids weren't scared anymore. He needed a way to scare kids and bring the fear that they would have nightmares.
Yeah, but it's almost like the horror movie version of like people not believing in Santa Claus anymore. Like, really, that's the best that you could have done.
What do you mean not believing in Santa Claus?
Well, they did.
What did you do, Tim? You spoiled it for Adam.
They weren't scared. Oh, shut up.
Shut up, Dave.
Shut
up, everybody.
No, Adam, you.
Oh, me. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Shutting up now. Moving on. Fangoria is back. Volume 2, Issue 1 ships this month. It's in the mail. A lot of people have already gotten it. And I'm pretty excited. It's got, gracing the cover of it is Michael Myers from Halloween 2018. Tim, what do you think?
Well, I don't have a sub to it.
Well, neither do I at this point.
But I've seen the picture. I think it came out at the perfect time. You're looking at this kind of this franchise that's kind of been dead in the water for a little bit, and they got a new movie that's a sequel to the original, and it just seemed like the perfect. Let's put Michael Myers on the cover, and it's a great cover.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave?
I'm eagerly awaiting my copy in the mail. For our listeners who remember some of our previous episodes, I was one of the subscribers that got stiffed. I'd actually bought a second-year Gore Zone subscription as well as a Fangoria subscription, and when I bought those subscriptions, that was the month that Fangoria decided to go tits up. So I got one issue of Fangoria, and that was it. So I did what the guys told me to do for the new owners of Fangoria. I emailed them, gave them all my information. I've actually received an email back from them even recently saying, hey, can you confirm your shipping address? Everything's being shipped out October 2nd, but depending on if it's domestic or international, it could take several weeks before you get it. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll get my new issue. I don't know. I guess I'll reserve judgment when I see the new magazine. So far, they're hitting all the right notes. They're doing everything right, which is positive. I can't wait to read it. It's only going to be 4 issues a year, though, and the price is considerably higher. But I guess when you think about it, it's keeping up with the times. I mean, things are more expensive today than what they were 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, and maybe that was one of the reasons why Fangoria originally went under. Pricing, I mean, things go up in price, and they were still charging relatively the same price, and they just couldn't make ends meet. I don't know.
Did they,
in the end what the story was.
Are they concentrating this time? Are they also offering like digital copies as well, as opposed to just the physical paper?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think it's just in print right now.
Really?
Yeah. Because I thought where if you were a legitimate subscriber, and by legitimate I mean you gave them the 60 or $70, whatever it is now for a year, you'd get the paper copy, and everyone who wrote in an email saying, hey, I got stiffed, they would get a digital copy. Mm. But apparently that's not it. It looks like it's only a print version that they're sending out. So,
well, as soon as they go digital, their subscription market's gone, right?
Yeah,
the whole
for sure.
thing yeah.
There's still a market. I mean, for a print copy, I would sooner sit down and read a physical copy of Fangoria, and it's just nostalgia. And really, Fangoria is all about nostalgia. I mean,
that's the whole market that they're going for, definitely. Because if they were just to do it digitally, I don't think it would take off.
Yeah.
No.
So hats off to these guys. I think from what I've seen right now, they're doing everything right. I can't wait to read it and see.
Okay. Any other opinion on that, Josh?
I'm wary of it. I don't have a sub for it yet either. I'll wait and see what the first couple issues look like and go from there. Honestly, seeing people get burned like that sucks. They're the first one. Obviously, these aren't the same people dealing with it.
Yeah, and it is cool that they're kind of extending that olive branch. Like, hey, our previous people, fucked you over. Let us make it right. Like that. Yeah. I think that's awesome.
Absolutely.
I kickstart backed the Evil Dead 2 board game and backed it for like $600 and had all the upgrades with like dice that were made of the fucking cabin boards. Wow. And the guy running that just completely fucked everyone. So there's a new company now picking it up, and they're doing the same thing where they're kind of like, if you backed it, well, for every copy we sell, we're going to send a copy to someone that got boned.
Wow.
That sucks.
Yeah, I had no idea, Josh. That sucks.
Yeah.
Dude, that's incredible.
How long ago was that?
That was like a year and a half, 2 years.
Wow.
I remember.
And we've just been waiting for like the guy to basically just say, hey, yeah, it's not going to happen, bud. Because Kickstarter won't do shit for you until they admit that.
Oh,
but that company's pretty much like gone under and everything. So a new company picked up the licensing agreement and is like finishing the game for them, which is cool. And like I said, they're doing that same thing that Fangoria is doing. So
I remember that Kickstarter. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I remember it too. That yeah, that sucks. That's shitty. Sorry to hear that, buddy. But I mean, you want to talk about legal stuff and shit that's kind of been up in limbo. Let's talk for a second about something else that came to a head this week. Friday the 13th, the legal battle for the rights.
yep.
Cunningham lost.
Yep.
Yeah, so, wow.
And he has formally filed an appeal.
He has.
So
Dave, go ahead, yeah.
Oh, I was just going to say, so Victor Miller apparently has won round one, I guess, in this legal battle. So as of right now, he's able to retain, I guess, the rights for Friday the 13th, the name and the original script in the U.S., but it's confusing because outside of the U.S., Sean Cunningham can still retain the rights for the original Friday the 13th, plus Sean Cunningham retains the rights to Jason the Mask, that aspect of it. Victor Miller only gets the original script and the original storyline with Mrs. Voorhees.
That's right.
In the U.S.
In the U.S.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get anything outside of the U.S. at all.
That's right.
And I appreciate the fact that Cunningham has put in, against this. But in my opinion, Cunningham and them still technically won quite a chunk of this then, because they're not making movies based on Pamela Voorhees anymore. She was a one-time character at in the beginning of a franchise. When you say Friday the 13th nowadays, who does everybody want to see in the movie?
But see, I don't think he's going to be able to use the name Friday the 13th as it stands right now, unless he's filed an appeal. I mean, certainly that could change, but he may have to call it something like they did with Jason X.
Or
right? If you called it Jason X, that would be fine.
Yeah, but everything goes in a different direction like that, even if it isn't a legal thing. Look what Adam Green did with Hatchet. The fourth movie came out called Victor Crowley.
Victor Crowley, yeah. The worst part of this for collectors is it's going to be a shit show for box sets. You're going to have regionally exclusive box sets. You're going to have box sets missing the first film.
I love that you went there.
That's my concern. I could care less about the rest of this. It's going to be a
little
pain in the ass for
OCD of it
collectors.
sitting on the shelf. What are you doing?
You're going to have a box set missing the first fucking film, and then you're going to have to get a fucking Chinese copy to make up for it.
Why does this one have a slipcover and these don't?
Exactly.
Okay, that's too good. So, Josh, tell us how you really feel. Love it. Yeah, no, it's gonna be good. Tim, any other thoughts on that yourself?
Look, I mean, at the end of the day, I think, like, just settle, because it's ruining the franchise. It's making fans, like, honestly, they win. Just say like in a couple months, couple weeks, whatever. It all gets settled. It's either we get more Friday the 13th movies or we don't. Yep. And it's like we're fucked either way because.
Yeah. So interesting point to that. In the most recent article about this whole thing, apparently Sean Cunningham, in not so many words, has said there are active projects in development. For Jason.
Oh, that's right.
What that means, I mean, but it's like you said, Tim, I mean, are the fans going to suffer? Because like some of these other companies, right? Like, what's the one? New Dimension Films that own the rights to like Children of the Corn and some of those movies. Like they're literally just pumping out shit movies just to keep the licensing.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I don't want to see from Sean Cunningham where I want to retain this. Let's just start pumping out projects to keep the licensing alive. You know what I mean? Or let's just start pumping out
the Hellraiser franchise. They were just pumping them out for the sake of keeping the fucking trademarks.
Exactly. And that's what I don't want to see with a franchise like this, where they just start pumping out these movies.
No. They need
just to make their mark, just to, for no other reason other than just to put something out with their name on it.
But let's face it, with the re-envisioning of Halloween, the continuation of that, I mean, that got a lot of people excited for what could potentially happen with a really decent budget, some love and attention to the actual franchise. This could be, the kickoff for something better for some of these beloved franchises, like with what's going to happen with Friday the 13th. Halloween is already kicked off as of today, something like 98.1
million
domestically, 98.1
yeah.
domestically for the opening weekend.
First week. Yep.
It became like the second highest rated horror movie release weekend ever. It's like, damn. Okay. So, you never know. All right, guys, we're going to take our first break, by the way. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about anything else that's happened this week. All right, guys? Come back in a minute.
Hi everybody, this is Vincent DeSanti, the writer and director of Friday the 13th fan film Never Hike Alone, and you are listening to the great commentary of They Cast from the Coast. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to check out Never Hike Alone, which is streaming for free on YouTube right now.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's continue this discussion with some other interesting stuff. So going beyond news, trailers that have dropped in the last week and a half, 2 weeks almost. I mean, we haven't done an episode in that long at least, so
we can just pretend.
Yeah, Pet Sematary, the remake.
Oh,
Tim, you're so excited. Why don't you talk about it?
Well, I said this when we were talking about it last year, is that it's nice to finally have some worthy adaptations of Stephen King. I just felt for years and years and years, Stephen King adaptations were very lackluster and underwhelming and all over the place, and half the time they didn't even match what the book was. And so, ever since it came out, it's we got Gerald's Game. Now, I know, some people didn't like it, but it was almost identical to the book. So I liked it. Now we got Pet Sematary, and I'm hoping that trend continues where it's a very worthy, awesome adaptation of, Stephen King's book. I'm very excited. The cat looks creepy as fuck. The fact that they added, how close the house and the driveway was to the road with the big fucking trucks going by, and it's going to be violent. And it looks really, really nice.
Really nice. Yeah, couldn't agree more. Dave.
It looks interesting. I like the tone. Again, a lot of companies now are really trying to hit on the whole nostalgia thing. I mean, even going so far as to using the font. It kind of looks like a Stephen King type font. It just, a Stranger Things, Stephen King type font. It seems to try to hit all the right notes as far as, tugging on the nostalgia strings. Tone looks good. I mean, it looks spooky. It looks creepy. Casting seems to be decent. Yeah, Church looks creepy as hell. Looks pretty cool. John Lithgow as Judd. I was excited when they first made the announcement. I'm like, wow, John Lithgow. Yeah, okay, big fan. Seeing him visually, he looks okay, but listening to some of the voiceovers and him reciting some of the dialogues, I keep comparing him to Fred Gwynn. And I know I shouldn't, but, I mean, as of right now, Fred Gwynn is Judd. So, I don't know. I'm stuck on that. I can't get past that.
I'm with you on that, Dave. I had the same problem with Pennywise, with the new Pennywise. It's the original is always the original, and there's nothing you can do about it, Tim. Doesn't matter how much you like
I absolutely can. Can, because I love Tim Curry, but that Pennywise was not fucking Pennywise. I'm sorry. Read the fucking book. It's not Pennywise.
Well, I know what Josh is saying, though. It's just when you're hooked on a certain character for so long.
Absolutely.
But the new Pennywise, absolutely, hands down, scary as hell.
Hear that, Josh? Did you hear that?
And you know what? When the new Pet Sematary comes out, and I see it from beginning to end, it completely unfold, I'm probably going to have a very different opinion on those characters. But I'm having the same initial reaction to the Pet Sematary trailer that I had with the It trailer. I liked it, but I'm completely reserving judgment on certain things until I have a chance to see the movie in full, and then I can see it. You know what I mean? I can make that decision. I can make that judgment call.
I don't know. I guess at the end of the day, I just hope that it's a very faithful adaptation. You know what I mean? Obviously,
Absolutely.
there's going to be things that are modernized and things that are going to change for pacing and all that. But as long as they keep the same basic story and add like nods to people that are fans of Stephen King, just do it like you did It. That's all you got to do. All you got to do. I mean, it wasn't a big deal in It, but they put like, you know, the right street names and, you know, like it was just, yeah.
No, absolutely. Watching the trailer, I found quite a few really cool things. I agree. Church looks awesome. I always pictured Church as more of a long-haired cat anyway because of the original cover that we had on the book growing up at home. Longer fur and everything else. So, I mean, even though Church was Church in the original, I always pictured him more like that. And this really scraggly ass looking long-haired cat.
I don't know. Is Josh gonna stick to the original Church?
I don't really care
the
for
original
the new cat.
Church is the original Church. The cat's not gray enough or black.
Why
enough.
isn't he a gray short hair?
Yeah, this new long hair shit is it's ridiculous.
Long-haired fucking hippie shit. But the other thing that really took me with this trailer was, like you had said, about the house being that much closer to the road. The scene and the shot in the trailer when the truck comes out of nowhere, because you got the tree line around the edge of the property, and then just whipping down the road, that struck me because I've lived on a back highway with tractor trailers whipping down the road that quickly. That stuck with me because I'm looking at it going, that's scary as shit because I've seen
I was just going to say that. I grew up in the place I lived, I could see the highway 101, like right behind our house.
Yep.
And you just see the transport trucks just zoom right by.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, and when you look back at the original, as much as we have rose-colored glasses for it, there were scenes where the trucks were seen coming miles away almost. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they come whipping down that road, but I can see them, right? This is like, boom, right through the tree line, and that's all you see is the truck. You don't even hear it coming.
Yeah.
Right, and that's going to be of interest. I like John Lithgow a lot, and
what'd you say his name was?
John Lithgow.
John Lithgow.
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 Lithgow, sure, whatever, Tim.
Lithgow. John Lithgow.
Lithgow, Tim.
You can okay. All
Fine.
right, but that's how he says his name.
Well, how do you? So
how he
Lithgow?
says his name. I like how he's not saying that he's right or wrong. He's just, well, that's how he says his name. You know, maybe he's wrong.
Whatever.
Hey,
Moving
we haven't done this in
on.
5 fucking months. Pent up. It's all coming up this episode.
Fine, but John looks great in the part, and I think
John
he's gonna
Lithgow.
Lithgow.
Not who.
Lithgow. Whatever. I don't give a crap. Moving on. Happy Death Day to You. The trailer that was released at the beginning of Halloween 2018. Dave.
Looks interesting. I sort of like the original movie. It wasn't bad. I didn't not like it. I'll watch the second one, but I don't know. I wasn't like hooting and hollering and going, yeah, I want to see that one.
I totally did that, didn't I, Adam?
And so did I. Me and Tim were looking at each other in the theater going,
I figured you would. I'm just like, if I get a chance to watch it, you know, after it comes out for release on video or whatever, iTunes, whatever, I'll watch it. Not going to go out of my way to see it.
Sure you will, Dave. Sure you will. Josh.
Bill Murray was really good in the first one.
I'm sorry?
I said Bill Murray was really good in the first one.
Oh, dear God. Here we go.
You know, Groundhog Day.
Wow.
Oh, that's a different movie? Oh.
They said
They
that.
referenced it at the end of the first one, but, you know.
I've never even seen them film. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So,
You haven't seen Happy Death Day?
No. Should I?
I think you should.
It's worth a watch. It's not a bad movie. I don't know.
It's one of the better teen slasher type of movies that have come out in the last couple of years. In all the hubbub of all these little cheapy horror movies that come out, this one was actually really good compared to a lot that came out. I would say
it's got a sequel. It might warrant me watching it, I guess.
I'd say.
Yeah.
It's a Blumhouse movie, and it's very much on par with a lot of the stuff that they've been coming out with lately. Not great, but hey, if you got 90 minutes and you're not really sure what to watch one night, throw it on. It's entertaining, but I wouldn't go out of my way to see it.
Don't listen to Dave. Go out of your way to see it. Tim.
What?
You're so excited. You're jumping. You're jumping and hand clapping.
I really liked the original one, or the first one. It was just fun. It was fun. I liked the characters. It was. You didn't have to think. Like, it was just, you watched her get killed a bunch of different times, and how she started having fun with it at the end, and I liked it. So, I didn't go see it in the theater. I watched it on Netflix, but, I was kind of excited that this story is just continuing the original one. It's not, this is the big sequel where we're doing it's just, it had a recipe, it's sticking to it, and,
picks up, right away.
Yeah.
She wakes up again in the same damn day and what the hell?
I couldn't believe, watching this trailer, it's like, for someone that didn't see the original, they totally just ruined the original with, this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened.
Yeah.
And they, basically gave,
they gave away the killer and everything in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, spoiler alert, Josh, right? So, no, who cares? No, I liked it a lot. I'm excited for it. I like some of the twists that this trailer is presenting. So it's not just, a rehash of the first one. It actually seems to have something to do with some sort of a science experiment gone wrong or some shit like this. You see some weird...
some kind of sci-fi
So something that's causing this to actually happen. And I do like how she's taking the whole kill myself thing that further again, with all the different ways that she's killing herself in the trailer. And all I can think to myself is, if they're showing us this many in the trailer, how many actually is going to happen in the movie? There's going to be a lot of death scenes in the movie, thankfully. So that'll be fun. So I like it. I think it's going to be a good movie. So let's move on a little bit, though, because we've already talked about Netflix and a bunch of other things. Let's talk about what we've watched recently, though, because it seems like pretty much all of us have been watching the same thing except for Tim.
Yeah, fucking Tim.
The Haunting.
Hey, I'm watching something else. Sorry.
So Tim's watching something else. He doesn't want to talk
Whatever.
about it, though, apparently. But
no, I'm going through
Elf. You're watching Elf, aren't you?
Yeah, you go. You say what the group collectively is watching without Tim. Go ahead.
The group is collectively watching without Tim because Tim, is being Tim.
I'm gonna get there.
I'll get there eventually. The Haunting of Hill House, which Stephen King himself has been praising the crap out of on social media, claiming it does everything to the original story's justice. So I'm only a couple of episodes in. I'm not going to say I'm damn near finished and oh my god, I've finished it all and everything else. I'm only 2 or 3 episodes in and I'm blown away. This has been absolutely a fun as hell show to watch. The first episode was a little bit slow, but there were a couple of really standout sequences in there. But I feel that the slowness of the first episode had to happen because it had to build the backstory for what you were going to experience starting in episode 2.
They had to set up the characters.
They had to set up the characters a particular way, and I thought it was a fantastic way to basically set up the family and give it a reason for the way that they are as of the second episode. So, Josh.
I'll start off loving it so far, 5 episodes deep. The only gripe I have is it switches too often between the two timelines, the young and the old. It's 5-6 times an episode sometimes. They could definitely cut it down with that. That's my only gripe. But when in the child timeline with all the kids, they do such a good job of the ghost or whatever. You'll just see the faces or the arms in the background, and it's so subtle that it made me feel like a kid, sitting there in the dark looking at a pile of laundry, and you see a face in the laundry. It does such a good job with that, I think.
Nice. Yeah, I can agree with that. Dave.
I've only watched the first episode. I like it. It seems a little slow, the first episode, and I mean, Josh just said, yeah, the first one's slow, but I've heard that the following episodes, 2 through whatever, they pick up after that and start. Yeah. Anyway, I'm probably going to have to go back because it's been over a week now since I watched that first episode. I've just been busy. I'm probably going to go back and rewatch it, but like watch the first one and then probably try to watch like a few of them in order, like in succession, and then try to get the season done. But I like what I saw. I mean, it's great to see some of these characters. You got Elliot from E.T., Henry Thomas is in it. Yeah, I mean, it just, yeah.
Oh, and what's her face? She was in Gerald's Game, and we talked about that earlier. She plays the mother of the household, and she does a wonderful job too. And she's
Elliot's in Gerald's Game too.
Who is Elliot?
Is he
Yeah,
really?
the kid. Yeah, he's the father.
Crikey, that just went over my head. I didn't even realize it, to tell you the truth. But
Whoosh!
whoosh! There you go. Went right over.
I didn't know he was in Gerald's Game.
Did you guys watch Gerald's Game?
No.
Back when
Then
it
you
first
wouldn't.
came out, you kept harassing me about it, so I did.
I did not.
You harassed me, Tim.
Whatever.
Like every day.
Mm.
Did you see it? Did you see it?
But
Did you see it?
Mike Flanagan, the director of Haunting of Hill House, directed Gerald's Game, directed Hush on Netflix, and he's also directing the sequel to The Shining, Dr. Sleep,
Dr. Sleep.
for Netflix.
Oh, that's right. That is going to be.
Oh.
on Netflix.
Your chair just went. Oh, really?
Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
yeah.
Dr. Sleep has been recently announced as a Netflix exclusive, hasn't it? That's cool. I like that. So,
My favorite thing about these series is it doesn't explicitly say that there's like ghosts. Like it could be all in their heads and it's just trauma or
Wow.
brain damage
Total
or whatever. But it
spoilers.
never
Thanks.
explicitly. No, it's not a spoiler.
Yeah, thanks,
Thanks.
Josh.
It never explicitly says. At least into episode like 4 so far, I haven't seen anything that proves that
it's like they don't call them
supernatural.
zombies in The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
They're walkers, biters, stinkers, whatever the fuck they call them, but they're not zombies. So, same
It's all
thing.
about how you interpret it.
It's
Yeah.
all in how you interpret it. So, the only other thing I wanted to just kind of mention here is
Because what I'm watching doesn't fucking matter. Whatever.
You're fucking right.
well, it was gonna be. Never mind, Tim. You go ahead, Tim. What the hell are you?
It's worse. It's worse now.
Let's stop everything.
It wasn't organic. It wasn't organic. It wasn't organic.
Now there's anything else
Remember
you
the
contribute
flow,
to this
the
episode,
flow.
Tim? But moving on. Okay.
The Flow. Volume 2.
Yeah, volume 2.
The Volume 2. No, I was just going to mention the other thing that I've really been spending any time with. I haven't had a lot of time to watch anything recently, but I did manage to catch up with that one, Terrifier. The internet is going absolutely nuts for this movie, and all because it's like a grindhouse style horror movie based on the character Art the Clown from the original All Hallows Eve anthology film. I actually kind of liked it. It was not an impressively amazing movie by any means, but it did what it set out to do. There was gore. There was some pretty interesting scenes in the movie. And to tell you the truth, it was kind of a bleak movie. The way that it kicks off and ends and everything else in between. There was really... I don't even know how to put it other than the fact that it was just bleak. Like, what else? Dave, I know you've seen it.
Oh, yeah. It tried too hard.
Okay.
I thought it had some potential. It tried too hard. It ended up being torture porn. It ended up basically throwing as much blood and guts on the screen as what it possibly could, and just for no other sake than to just gross people out. And that's okay for some people. I was just looking for something different. Maybe it was just the mood I was in that night. I just wasn't overly impressed with it. I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. It was very bleak. It was definitely, I don't know. Can't describe it.
Well, the best part about the whole movie, in my opinion, was actually Art the Clown himself. The guy who played Art and the way that they did the prosthetic, and he's always smiling.
He was creepy as hell.
He was creepy as
The guy
shit.
did a good job.
He did
It's
a good
creepy
job.
ass character. Yeah, the character itself is definitely. I don't know. There were just. I guess some scenes in the movie, like just there were a few things that I felt were unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's
Wasn't sold on it.
I haven't seen it yet.
Well, Josh hasn't seen it. Tim hasn't seen it.
Anything that expands on an anthology or anything like that, though, I'm for.
Yeah.
Give some more backstory to a character.
Have you seen the
That's
original
cool.
anthology by any chance?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it's worth it. I actually kind of like the hacksaw scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of the scenes I'm talking about, is that it was totally unnecessary. I don't know. It just, maybe it was just the mood I was in that night, but as soon as he started doing that, I almost turned it off.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I thought it was actually one of the best parts of the movie, but that's okay. But, for some people. Some people. All right.
Not for everybody.
So I'll just leave it for open discussion really quickly now, because we have some time before we end the show. Is there anything else anybody else wants to throw on the table that might have happened this week that we haven't talked about yet? Or that you've seen or heard? No. No, you know what? I mean, it's been pretty quiet this week, actually, because a lot of the excitement has to do with what we're going to talk about in our next episode, which should be available shortly after this episode's released, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. So, with that, I'm going to say thank you for tuning in. It's been a great episode this week, guys. And episode 51 coming up as soon as we can. But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in once again. Remember to like, subscribe to us on Facebook, and also on YouTube. And we also have They Cast from the Coast now being offered in pretty much every online podcast system nameable. We have Google Play, we have Spotify, we have iTunes. We're everywhere right now, people. So please like, subscribe, tune in, share it out, tell your friends, and we'll see you for the next episode. So until then, Josh.
See you later.
Dave.
Have a good night, everyone.
Tim doesn't say anything.
Peace.
Peace. He threw a peace sign. So anybody who's listening couldn't see that, but Tim threw a peace sign. All right, have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next time.